Before the game, John Messino said that you've got to remember that they've got Premier League players all over the pitch. And that's simply true. But watching the game, it was like playing Wickham or somebody, wasn't it? We made them look ordinary, or they made themselves look ordinary. That's for people who know more about football than the likes of us to decide. But certainly there was you couldn't get a fag paper in between those two teams. One team that are aiming to be back in the Premier League next season, gagging to be back in the Premier League next season. Did you hear the booing from the Leicester fans at the end of the game? That's not good enough for them. They want to be winning their games and they want to be right up there looking for automatic promotion. Automatic promotion is their minimum. So good luck with that. The Leicester set-up. Their manager made all the right noises after the game.
Marty, what's your analysis of your team's performance tonight?
This is their manager.
Well, definitely a game of two halves.
A game of two halves.
John,
Marty,
a great point on
let's
the road.
have a listen to our boy.
3 at one stage, but how pleased are you with that result and performance?
Yeah, we're really pleased coming away from here with a point. I think we would have taken it before the game, going a goal down and trailing at half time without really clicking into gear. When you come away at that point, would I have taken a point at half time? I think so. Just in the second half, I thought we were absolutely superb and could have won the game. So it's slightly disappointed that we didn't, but also at the other end, Leicester had a really good chance at the back post and we could have lost it, which I thought would have been very unfair. But overall, very, very pleased.
Right. There were 3 goal-scoring opportunities, proper ones, for both sides. That was clear. And we have our goalkeeper to thank for it. So Bursic has now really come of age. He is now offering Nico Schmidt, when he gets back fit, offering him a real challenge. Can you get the gloves back? And 2 or 3 weeks ago, we would have thought that such a circumstance would have been impossible because Schmidt is just so omnipotent between the sticks. But Bursic was pulling off some flying saves. He might not quite have the command with the ball at his feet of Nico Schmidt, but when it comes to keeping out screamers that are heading for the top corner or the bottom corner, then Bursic did more than could have been expected of him. So he gets a 10, doesn't he? Who else gets a 10? Well, Yang, of course. What a find he is. What a loan player, a borrowing he is. He really means it. He wants it. He's not here just marking time until he's old enough to get a first-team starting place for Spurs, which will happen, won't it? But he is here to win games. He's here not just to cover himself in glory, but to get 3 points for the boss. He set up our goal, which was kind of well taken by Swift. I got the impression that he didn't have much option. He was falling away from the ball when he struck it. And I think he just struck it in the general direction of the goal. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone does it. It's best if you can pick your spot. But he was falling away and he got a shot off and in it went. And it slightly surprised him as well as delighted him. Yang didn't get to him first because Yang it was who opened them up for that goal because he attacks the man in front of him. He takes him on. And if you're on the pitch and you're playing against Yang, then you see a player taking on other people and then suddenly he's coming towards you with the ball and you know that he's not going to give away the simple pass. Turn and pass it backwards so that at least he hasn't lost possession. He will take the chance, the risk of losing the ball by taking you on, and that gets into your head because he takes you on and he is so quick and he's got such good feet. There's a better than even chance he'll go round you. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm running backwards here, trying to slow this guy down, but he's coming at me even faster. He's going to do something, and it's going to change the game, and there's not a lot I can do about it. This is all what was going on leading up to our goal. It was Colby Bishop who got to Swift first, and he gave him that chest bump. And Colby was genuinely delighted for him. Of course, Colby would like to have scored it himself, but for all we know, he was doing some selfless running off the ball, drawing people away from Swift and helping to open up their defence so that all Swift had to do was that cheeky little back heel, side heel, whatever you call it. It wasn't a step over, he just brought the ball onto his left foot, by flicking it behind his left foot, and then he had it sort of set up, but he scored it, and that's all that matters. Did we deserve the point? More than deserve the point. Was it a better result than against Middlesbrough? Well, it was 1 point rather than 3, but we were away, and they are Leicester, and no offence to Middlesbrough, but Middlesbrough are Middlesbrough, Leicester are Leicester. And they really believe, and there's something in their belief, that they're a Premier League side, a Premier League club. And it is their destiny to get back there and be playing Liverpool and Arsenal every week instead of the likes of us. But the point is that the likes of us more than matched them. We've talked about our goal, which sort of belonged to Yang, but Swift it was who finished it. We were good all over the pitch. Yang was terrific. Yang's another 10. Bursic a 10. Yang's a 10. There was nobody there who was less than 9. I think Conor Ogilvie will be a little bit disappointed that the cross came in from which they scored that curiously acrobatic goal. It was almost a backward scissor kick, wasn't it? And he did well, the lad, to sort of scoop it from behind him into the goal. It was a classic opening up. We got in tight. They got in tight nearly to the goal line. If you get your cross in from there, it's going to be dangerous. And it was as dangerous as it gets because we conceded. But Ogilvie tried to make the block with his right foot, and I'm not sure whether you get more extension if they're coming at you down their right and you're defending down your left, and the guy goes for the goal line and then to get the cross in. I'm not convinced you get a little bit of a better block if you're using your left foot. And he's a left-footed player, so I'm not quite sure why he tried to block the cross with his right foot and thigh and body. But it's what he did. He knows what he's doing, so nobody's criticising him. He once again was stalwart, absolutely stalwart, Conor Ogilvie. He was another 9. I don't think anybody got less than 9, with the possible exception, and I will raise this with you, dear Pompey fan and listener. Chaplin still isn't quite clicking, is he? It's not for want of trying. He gets himself into good position, so he gets a decent amount of the ball, but he's not able to impose himself with or without the ball at the moment. And when he came off in the 62nd minute for Kuznevski to come on and impress, it was almost a case of the manager saying, you're not clicking, I need 11 players on the field clicking, because we're holding a side who are a Premier League side. We're holding them, and we're going to get a point here if we play every one of our cards right. And he did, the manager, and they did, the players. And so at the end of the game, up went a chorus of boos from the Leicester fans, because in their, I'm going to say, you could say arrogance or conceit, their belief that Pompey should have been there for the taking, because after all, they're fresh out of League One. They struggled last season, just about managed to avoid relegation. All these observations will have been drip-fed to them during the fortnight that we had to build up to this game. And it would have been difficult for the fans and possibly some of the players and backroom staff at Leicester to lull themselves into the false sense of security that all they have to do is turn up and go through the motions, and the superior status of the Leicester starting 11, and indeed the people that they've got on the bench, will do the job for them. Well, it simply didn't happen. And as I said at the beginning of this little summary, if you told us that we were playing Fleetwood on Saturday night, and that was what happened there, you wouldn't have gone, wow, they were playing above their level, weren't they? Weren't they playing their socks off there? Are they really just an ordinary League One side? No. They are supposedly a Premier League side. And this is where it's going to get tricky, because now we take on Coventry, and we must be starting to believe. And what happened after the Middlesbrough game is that we came out fighting. what happened after the Southampton game, going into Sheffield Wednesday, was that there was this sense that we only had to turn up to beat them because the club is in such disarray and their playing staff has been so diminished by departures that they're that much inferior to Southampton. We matched Southampton and a bit more at their place. We are at home where we're impregnable, unbeatable. Well, that's kind of gone sideways, hasn't it? But anyway, we had that in our minds that all we had to do was pass the ball around and eventually somebody would score for us. And it simply didn't happen. Well, that syndrome, whatever it is, wasn't replicated against Leicester. Interestingly, we did some stats on Pompey Sound not long ago. We seem to be finding it easier to raise our game against the kind of opponents that you're going to meet in the Championship who are valid promotion candidates. We seem to be able to pull our socks up against those teams more successfully than we're able to at the moment, or have been over the last 3 or 4 times that this has happened, against teams that, for want of a better way of putting it, we are supposed to beat. So now the manager knows his job there. It is to make sure that the mentality that we bring against the Middlesbroughs and the Leicesters, we bring against Coventry on Tuesday, and we then also bring to all of the other games that we have in the Championship, whether it's promotion candidates or people who are down amongst the dead men, because we all now are beginning to incubate the slight suspicion that as the season progresses, we could end up there or thereabouts. We both know what I think you know, gentle listener, what I mean when I say there or thereabouts. I mean there or thereabouts. The top of the league, towards the top of the league. And won't that be heady, giddy, intoxicating, delirious, fantastic? So well done, the boys in turquoise, amber, whatever it was. It was high vis yellow, wasn't it, against Leicester? But we got the point. Damn good point. So well played, Pompey.